Kia ora. Welcome to inspirationaltv.net. For my coffee break this morning, I'm with Sharon Cole. It's lovely to be here, Sharon.
Kia ora, Steph.
Tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, these days I'm director of the Wellington Catholic Education Centre, which I've come to from a long involvement in church, but also in mainly the community sector, and also following a stint of 5 years as Families Commissioner.
Oh, were you a Families Commissioner?
I was one of the inaugural appointments, so I did 2 terms.
And what did that involve?
Well, it was the establishment phase of the Families Commission, so basically setting it up, setting its structure in place and its work program, its strategic directions.
So do you reckon it was a worthwhile venture?
I do. There's some constraints around it in terms of its legislation, but really exciting things in terms of what are the issues facing New Zealand families, but it puts families at the centre rather than individuals within families, which is really important.
It sounds to me, just from what I know about you, that would have been a job that would have had a good match, because you have a great faith in families, don't you?
I do, and I've been involved in Parent Centre, which is a national parenting organisation, since the birth of Emma, who was my 3rd child. That was 1982, so for a long time, and I'm still the chair of Parent Centre.
Oh, okay. And now you've moved into a kind of like a church setting, so that's a different kind of experience.
Well, I have. I'm like a lot of people, I'm a born Catholic. Well, 10 days old I was baptised and always educated by the Sisters of St Joseph of Nazareth in Hastings, and had numerous aunts and nuns, Irish Catholic background. Never actually saw myself as would be working for the church, because as you're growing up it's either you're a nun or a priest, which clearly wasn't going to happen. And that was it really, you were a lay person, but now with the way the church is, there's much more opportunity for the laity to be involved in all sorts of levels. And my background in community education, and particularly at the tertiary level, plus my church involvement, plus lots of other things I do, seem to have brought me on this path.
It's kind of come together in a nexus, hasn't it? And it's worked
I often
really
look
well.
back and think, well, I think God had the path mapped out for me, and I just inexorably walked along it.
What do your family think of you having a job like this?
Well, I'm married to a non-Catholic, Richard, who taught in the Catholic school system actually, so he's quite knowledgeable about the faith. And I've got 4 adult children, 2 sons, 2 daughters, and my girls, they live in Sydney, and I've just been over there recently. I think they're a little bemused, but they've watched my career take all sorts of pathways over the years, so, and they know that I've been involved in my parish, Sacred Heart Parish in Petone, intimately now since I've lived in Wellington, and the church has it's become more and more important to me in terms of its community, its mission, and I mean the mission in all senses of the word, but particularly the mission of Jesus Christ.
So you talked about your parish at Petone. What is it that draws you to that parish?
From the day I walked in the door of that church, Mike McCabe, who was the parish priest then, was standing on the doorstep and said, "Oh, welcome." And I walked in, it was multicultural, it was welcoming. I just like the inclusiveness of it. It's exactly the right place for me, and lots of people say they feel the spirit of the parish when they walk in. So.
Over the years you've done a huge multiplicity of things. Can you think of a time when you've been really inspired by an outcome of something that you've been involved with?
I think a number of them do involve education, and I, in the sort of mid-80s through to the early 90s, did postgraduate education at Massey, so really understanding adult education and how do you get participatory education. And I really love it that when you get people involved and you find out what their needs are, you address their needs so that you make the education personal to the person and what they want. The difference that you can make in someone's life, and how enthusiastic they are about their learning, and how they come to you and say, I never knew these things, or actually now what I know and what I feel about something and what I can do about it has changed my life.
That's great.
And that's a great feeling.
And of course, over the years, I guess life hasn't all been easy peasy. What do you do when the going gets tough?
I guess just a determination of if you believe in something strongly enough, and that belief that I guess the best things in life and things that are most worthwhile don't come easily sometimes, and so it's that hard path. And again, I just take inspiration from role models I've had in my life. I've been given certain gifts by God, and He didn't give them to me to hide them, and that's the Nelson Mandela, don't hide your light under the bushel, that you are to use them, and you are to use them for other people. I didn't give you gifts just for you alone. And as hard as it might get for me, I know life is harder for a lot of other people.
Yes.
And so it's putting things in perspective.
It sounds to me as if you've got that bit from John's Gospel inside you, I've come that you may have life and have it to the full.
And it's interesting, I remember when I first met Archbishop John, that was one of the things he asked us. I've thought and reflected deeply on that, and it is about, it's not enough just to live or just to be, it's what you do with that. And I've always thought it's how you deal with the difficult things in life that actually are the mark of you as a person, but also you grow through the hardest things. I remember losing a baby and thought the end of the world had come and nothing good could ever come from that. But I know that I learnt so much from that, and probably am a much more compassionate person because of that.
I wish you all the best, and I hope that life gives you many more inspiring moments and much hope for the future.
I'm sure it will.
And thank you for being with us on Inspirational TV. Join us again.